Removing hex head bolts from an old engine can be hazardous. The reason is, if you round that out, you've got a big wrench dance. You're probably going to have to drill the head of the bolt out and then locate a new bolt. So I want to show you the technique I use to prevent rounding out these hex head bolts. A couple things you don't want to do. Number one, don't use an air impact wrench, because you don't know how frozen that is in there, and you apply an impact wrench to it without being able to feel what's happened. It's likely that this hex head socket is going to spin and round that head out. The other thing you don't want to do is put it in there like this and just start turning slowly. Now, I've already loosened this one up, but I had to use a technique I'm going to show you here in a second to get that one loose, because it would not come. If you get a wrench on it and turn very slowly, you're probably going to round it out. The first reason is you may have not gotten the hex part of the wrench fully into that bolt head. And number two, you don't want to turn it slowly. So what I do is I like to shock these bolts. And by shocking them, I mean whacking on them. And whacking on them hard will shock those threads and move the threads a little bit, so then they may loosen up more easily. I get my favorite hammer out. This is a brass and rawhide hammer. And I'm going to put it on this lower one. And to make sure it's all the way in, I'm going to tap on it. And then after I'm sure it's all the way in, then I'm going to rap on it about 3 or 4 times, okay? As hard as I can. Now I'm going to get my ratchet wrench. I'm going to extend it out. And instead of turning it slowly, I'm going to hold in tight, and I'm going to give it a quick snap of the hand, like that. Okay, that one's loose. And of course, once you get it loose, then you can get the impact wrench and spin it out like that. So there you have it. When you go to put it back in, you have a nice bolt that is very easy to install and torque properly.